The 49ers win this game 42-19, the final, in a game that was not even that close. Thumpity thump, as the Niners just meleeed the Philadelphia football team. So the Niners improved to 9-3. The Eagles dropped to 10-2 on the season. The better story is in the losing locker room, so that is where we will begin. And where does this loss, a stinger of a loss, where does this loss leave Jalen Hurts and the Eagles? So I've got solar plexus, LeVar Ball, and chef's kiss. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a firecracker of a MALLER monologue. So, if you watched the TV show over the weekend, we talked a lot about this game. Why wouldn't we? It was the biggest game on the card in the NFL, the Eagles and the 49ers, and we expected a lot more from Philadelphia. Now, to be fair, for 15 minutes, the Philadelphia football team was in good shape. They were 6-0, couple of long drives. They had to settle for field goals. But, hey, you're okay, fine. That's all right. And then from that point forward, if you take away the 15 minutes that started the game, unfortunately for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, the game is actually judged over a 60-minute clock. And since they judged it after 60 minutes and not 15 minutes, it turned out to be mortifying as the 49ers did whatever the hell they wanted on offense. It was a punch to the Eagles' solar plexus. I don't even know if an Eagle has a solar plexus, but it just, man, a one-dimensional offense. The combo, DeAndre Swift, Kenneth Gainwell, and Boston Scott, the three stooges at the running back position, managed 20 rushing yards combined. 20. That's it. So this is one of those games. The Eagles had a nice record, a great record in the NFC and leading the NFL, but they're going to have to take their medicine on this one and do better and be better. And they have an opportunity against a team everyone does well against who's any good, the Dallas football team, next weekend. But watching San Francisco score 6 touchdowns on 6 straight possessions, that's hard to do even on a video game, to go 6 for 6 on touchdowns, and they did it. And they probably could have scored more, but they didn't need to. All right, now, turn to the page. We had the story within the story, which makes for good talk radio. So there was a moment in time in this game that will have legs, that will continue to be talked about in the coming days, and that moment happened, a brouhaha, somebody named Dom DeSandro. I don't know who that is. Apparently he's the Eagles' head of security. It's hard to believe I don't know every team's head of security. Yes, so this guy's running the Eagles' security wing, and he was ejected. Get out of here. Just over 9 minutes to play on the clock in the third quarter of the game with the 49ers. Now, he became involved. The head of security, Dom DeSandro, became involved in a sideline kerfluffle. There was an incident with linebacker Dre Greenlaw. And if you were watching the game, this became a big talking point on the Fox broadcast. They highlighted it. They had sideline reporters breaking it down frame by frame, Zapruder film style. So DeSandro, he was on the sides trying to separate. Apparently his job, I'm told, is to protect Nick Sirianni, because apparently people want to kill Nick Sirianni, so he needs somebody with him at all times. You know, when you're coaching the Eagles, it's a big deal. And so, anyway, so DeSandro tried to separate the 49er linebacker, Dre Greenlaw, from Devontae Smith. They got into it there, and Greenlaw tackled Smith, body slammed him right there at the sidelines, and that flustered a number of the Philadelphia sideline aficionados, and it happened right there at DeSandro's feet. And during the game, his job, again, is to protect the Eagles coach Nick Sirianni at all costs. It's like the Secret Service. It's like the secret. You got to protect the president. This is a big job. Your job is to protect Nick Sirianni. You have to take a punch for Sirianni. It's a big deal. These NFL coaches, a lot of people want to get him. A lot of people want to get at him. So he stood there as this incident played out, the security guy for the Eagles. Greenlaw was penalized 12 yards for unnecessary roughness on the play. Okay, that's not the end of it. During the separation process, which can be dicey, it can be messy, DeSandro, the security guy, lightly shoved Greenlaw, the 49er defensive player, to ensure that he, the defensive player, the linebacker in this case, would not further engage hostilities against the Philadelphia football team. Greenlaw did not appreciate that at all, and threw a light punch at the security guy. DeSandro then left the field as the officials had a brief powwow. The officials got together and they decided, you're all out of here. Get out of here. Greenlaw was ejected, and the security guy, DeSandro, was ejected. The crowd, of course, loved this in Philadelphia. It was the highlight of the day. I believe he got a game ball. I think he got a game ball there at Lincoln Financial Field. So how did you score the fight? How did you score the fight between the 49 linebacker, Dre Greenlaw, and the Philadelphia head of security, Dom DeSandro? So I give the fight a 10-9 win for DeSandro. Now, he also gets a dunce cap, but for a guy who's not even playing, a guy that's not even in uniform or a coach, to have another team's defensive player kicked out of the game because of a confrontation, that's a win. That is a win. Now, it didn't turn out to be a win because Philadelphia ended up losing the game. But to think about somebody who's not even a player or a coach can take a player and have him ejected from the game in what happened here. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a dunce cap move, but at the time it could have been a massive turning point in the game. It was not, but as LeVar Ball would say, stay in your lane. You got to stay in your lane there, but maybe not, right? You're not a player. You're not a coach. I got to think that while this is dishonorable behavior and there's a lot of chatter, noise that the NFL is going to crack down on rogue security people, and they're going to bring the hammer of hell down on this guy, and he's going to be suspended and all that stuff. The escalating of the situation, shall we say, it does open up a can of worms. Because let's just do the hypothetical. Let's say we get down to the postseason, and you're trying to win a game here, and you have a very loud, vocal hooligan. That is, you just say they're your security guy, and then they end up getting engaged with the other team. And now the precedent has been set. Hey, you can be ejected for getting into a rhubarb with somebody who's not a player or not a coach. And that's a can of worms situation. And gamesmanship does play out here. Gamesmanship does play out. Now, last word here. Does this particular game, a 49er win by a route or route, depending on where you grew up, does this prove that Brock Purdy is more than just a system quarterback? My inbox at the end of this game was filled with wise football savants who informed me that this game is proof that I'm a dope and I'm a moron, I'm a Nimrod, and all that. The answer, of course, is no. The answer is not. I mean, anybody that sent that, and you know who you are, the people that sent me that email, you're the dum-dums, because let me explain something. All right. Now, while this was a chef's kiss performance for Brock Purdy in this particular game, and I'm not going to disagree with that, 4 touchdowns, 314 yards passing, didn't get off to the greatest start in the world. The first few passes were a little wobbly, but brilliant. Nevertheless, do not be a prisoner of the moment. The 49ers were favored in this game. They were favored in this game. So all they did was take care of business. They were favored on the road. The odds makers said they were the better team. They won. And why does Brock Purdy get called a system quarterback? Because when the star players around him are not there, he doesn't perform well. His team loses. Were the star players there? Yes. Deebo Samuel, was he there? Yes. Absolutely. So, stop. Now, if Deebo Samuel breaks his leg and the Niners keep winning, okay, we got something. Then we can revisit this. But no. And how did Deebo Samuel handle the trash? Remember that storyline? Oh, Deebo Samuel's playing with fire. Oh, man. What is he doing? He's upsetting the Eagles. Yeah, okay. Well, as we anticipated, that story kind of faded away because the Eagles didn't rally around and beat up the guy that was talking trash. So Deebo Samuel, he talked the talk and went out and walked the walk. That his mouth was able to write jumbo-sized checks that his body was able to cash. He touched the ball 7 times. 3 of the 7 went for touchdowns in 138 total yards, as it was a wonderful afternoon in beautiful Philadelphia with a picturesque Chamber of Commerce day, unless it was not.